Psalm 34:14. Turn away from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. And it came to pass after the decrease of Joshua that the sons of Israel asked in the Lord, saying, Who shall ascend with us against the Canaanites, guiding to wage war against them? The Lord said, Judah shall ascend. Behold, I have put the land in his hand. And Judah said to Simeon his brother, Ascend with me unto my lot, for we should wage war with the Canaanites, and I shall also go with you unto your lot. And Simeon with him. Judah ascended, and the Lord gave the Canaanites and the Perizzites into his hand, and they struck them in Bezek 10,000 men. They found Adoni-Bezek in Bezek, and they waged war with him, and they struck the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And Adoni-Bezek fled, and they pursued after him, took him, cut off the thumbs of his hands and the big toes of his feet. And Adoni-Bezek said, 70 kings, the thumbs of their hands and the big toes of their feet being cut off were collected together underneath my table, as then I did. And so God recompensed to me, and they led him unto Jerusalem, and he died there. The sons of Judah waged war with Jerusalem, and overtook it, and struck it by the mouth of the broadsword, and the city they burnt with fire. After these things, the sons of Judah went down to wage war with the Canaanites, dwelling the mountainous area, and the south, and the plain country. And Judah went to the Canaanites, dwelling in Hebron, and the name Hebron was formerly Kirjath-Arba. And they struck Sheshai and Ahiman and Talmai, offspring with the Anak. They went from there to the ones dwelling in Debir, and the name Debir was formerly Kirjath-Sepher, city of letters. Caleb said, Whoever should strike the city of letters and be first to take it, I will give to him Achash my daughter for a wife, and first to take it with Othniel son of Kenaz, the younger brother of Caleb, and he gave to him Achsah his daughter for a wife. It came to pass in her entering that he stirred her to ask for a field from her father. She grumbled upon her beast of burden, and Caleb said to her, What is it with you? And Achsah said to him, Give indeed to me a blessing, for into the land of the south you have handed me over, and you shall give to me a ransoming of water. Caleb gave to her the ransom of the elevated springs, and the ransom of the ones below. And the sons of Jothar the Kenite, father-in-law of Moses, ascended from out of the city of the palms to the sons of Judah, into the wilderness of Judah, the ones being in the south upon the descent of Arad. And they went and dwelt with the people. Judah went with Simeon his brother, and they struck the Canaanites dwelling in Zephath, and devoted it to consumption, and utterly destroyed it. And they called the name of the city Devastation. Judah inherited Gaza and her border, and Ekron and her border, Ashkelon and her border, Ashdod and her outskirts. And the Lord was with Judah, and he inherited the mountain, for he was not able to inherit the ones dwelling in the valley, for it was separated to them, and there were chariots of iron to them. They gave Hebron to Caleb, as Moses spoke, and he removed there the 3 sons of Anak. The son of Benjamin did not remove the Jebusite dwelling in Jerusalem, and the Jebusites dwelt with the sons of Benjamin in Jerusalem unto this day. The sons of Joseph ascended, and indeed they went into Bethel, and the Lord was with them. And they camped and surveyed Bethel, and the name of the city was formerly Luz. The ones keeping guard beheld a man going forth from out of the city. And they took him, and they said to him, Show to us the entrance of the city, and we will deal mercifully with you. And he showed to them the entrance of the city, and they struck the city by the mouth of the broadsword. But the man and his kin they sent out. The man went forth into the land of the Hittite, and he built there a city, and they called the name of it Luz. This is its name unto this day. Manasseh did not remove Beth-shean, nor its daughters' towns, nor Tanakh her daughters' towns, nor the ones dwelling in Dor and her daughters' towns, nor the ones dwelling Megiddo and her daughter towns, not the ones dwelling Ibleam, nor her daughters' towns. And the Canaanites began to dwell in the land. It came to pass, when Israel grew in strength, that he established a Canaanite for tribute, but by removing he did not remove him. And Ephraim did not remove the Canaanite dwelling in Gezer, and the Canaanite dwelt in the midst of him in Gezer. Zebulun did not remove the ones dwelling in Kitron, and the ones dwelling in Nahalol, and the Canaanites dwelled in the midst of them, and it became for tribute. Asher did not remove the ones dwelling Achal, and the ones dwelling Sidon, and the ones dwelling Alab, and Aksib, Helba, Aphek, Rehob, And Asher dwelt in the midst of the Canaanites dwelling in the land, for he was not able to remove him. Naphtali did not remove the ones dwelling in Beth Shemesh, and the ones dwelling in Beth Anath. Naphtali dwelt in the midst of the Canaanites dwelling in the land, but the ones dwelling in Beth Shemesh and in Beth Anath became to them for tribute. The Amorites squeezed out the sons of Dan into the mountain, for they did not let him go down into the valley. The Amorites began to dwell in Mount Heres, for which the bears and the foxes are, and the hands of the house of Joseph was oppressive upon the Amorites, and he became for tribute. And the border of the Amorites was for the ascending of Akrabim from the rock and above. And ascended an angel of the Lord from Gilgal unto the place of weeping, and he said to them, The Lord transported you from Egypt, and brought you into the land which he swore by an oath to your fathers to give to you. And he said, I shall not efface my covenant with you into the eon. You shall not ordain a covenant with the ones lying in wait in this land, nor in any way shall you do obeisance to their gods. But their carved idols break, and their altars raise. You hearkened not to my voice, nor did you do these things. And I said, In no way shall I remove them from your face. They will be to you for conflict, and their gods will be to you as an obstacle. And it came to pass, as the angel of the Lord spoke these words to all the sons of Israel, that the people lifted up their voices and wept. Therefore he called the name of that place Weeping, and they sacrificed there to the Lord. Joshua sent out the people, and the sons of Israel each departed to his place and to his inheritance to inhabit the land. The people served to the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders, as many as prolonged their days with Joshua, as many as knew every great work of the Lord which he did to Israel. Joshua the son of Nun came to an end, a servant of the Lord, 110 years old. They entombed him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath Heres, in Mount Ephraim, from the north of Mount Gaash. And indeed all that generation were added to their fathers, and another generation rose up after them, which did not know the Lord, and indeed the work which he did to Israel. The sons of Israel acted wickedly before the Lord, and they served to Baalim. They abandoned the Lord God of their fathers, sworn leading them out of the land of Egypt, and they went after other gods, or the gods of the people surrounding them. They did obeisance to them and provoked the Lord to anger. They abandoned the Lord and served to Baal and to Ashtoreth. The Lord was provoked to anger and raged with Israel, and he delivered them into the hand of ones despoiling. They carried them away captive, and he gave them into the hand of their enemies round about, and they were not able to oppose against the face of their enemies. In all wherever they went, even the hand of the Lord was against them for bad, as the Lord said, and as the Lord swore to them, and he squeezed them exceedingly. And the Lord raised up judges, and the Lord delivered them from the hand of the ones despoiling them, and they obeyed not their judges. For they fornicated after other gods, and did obeisance to them, and provoked the Lord to anger. And they had turned aside quickly from the way of which their fathers went, listening to the commandments of the Lord, and did not do so. And when the Lord raised up to them judges, when the Lord was with the judge, he delivered them from the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For the Lord was removed to comfort because of their moaning from in front of the ones assaulting them and afflicting them. It came to pass, as the judge died, that they turned back, and again corrupted themselves above their fathers, to go after other gods, and to serve them, and to do obeisance to them. They did not disown their practices, and of their recalcitrant ways. The Lord was provoked to anger and rage with Israel. And he said, Because of as much as this nation abandoned my covenant, which I gave charge to their fathers, and hearkened not to my voice, then I shall not proceed to remove a man from the presence of the nations whom were left behind by Joshua. He allowed to test Israel by him, if they guard the way of the Lord, to go by it in which manner their fathers guarded, or not. And the Lord left these nations so as to not remove them quickly. He did not deliver them into the hand of Joshua. And these are the nations which the Lord left with them, so as to test Israel by them, all the ones not knowing all the wars of Canaan. This was only for the sake of the generation of the sons of Israel, to teach them war, except the ones before them did not know them, namely the 5 satraps of the Philistines, and every Canaanite, and the Sidonians, the Hivites dwelling in Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon unto Hamath. And it happened so as to test Israel by them, to know if they will hearken to the commandments of the Lord which he gave charge to their fathers by the hand of Moses. And the sons of Israel dwelt in the midst of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. They took their daughters unto themselves for wives, and their daughters they gave to their sons, and they served their gods. And the sons of Israel acted wickedly before the Lord, and they forgot the Lord their God, and served to the Baalim, to the sacred groves. The Lord was provoked to anger and rage with Israel, and he gave them into the hands of Shushan, Rishathaim, king of Syrian Mesopotamia, and the sons of Israel served to him 8 years.
And the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord, and the Lord raised up a deliverer for Israel. He delivered them, Othniel son of Kenaz, brother of Caleb, the one younger than him. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel. He went unto the war, and the Lord delivered Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Syria, into his hand, and he fortified his hand against Cushan-Rishathaim. And the land was tranquil 40 years, and Othniel son of Kenaz died. The sons of Israel proceeded to do wickedly before the Lord. The Lord strengthened Eglon, king of Moab, against Israel, because of their acting wickedly before the Lord. And he brought together to himself all the sons of Ammon and Amalek, and he went and struck Israel, and inherited the city of the palms. The sons of Israel served Eglon, king of Moab, 18 years. The sons of Israel cried out to the Lord. The Lord raised up to them a deliverer, Ehud, son of Gera, son of Benjamin, a man ambidextrous. And the sons of Israel sent gifts by his hand to Eglon, king of Moab. And Ehud made for himself a knife, double-edged, a span being the length of it, and he girded it under the uniform upon his right thigh. He brought the gifts to Eglon, king of Moab, and Eglon was a man of exceedingly fair weight. It came to pass, as Ehud completed bringing the gifts, that he sent out the ones carrying the gifts, and he returned from the carvings by Gilgal. Ehud said, There is with me a secret word for you, O king. And Eglon said to him, Be silent, and went forth from him all the ones standing around him. Ehud entered to him, and he sat in his upper harvest room alone. Ehud said, There is a word of God with me to you, O king. And Eglon rose up from the throne near him. It happened together in his rising up that Ehud stretched out his left hand, took the knife from his right thigh, and he struck it into the belly of Eglon. He brought in addition also indeed the handle of the blade, and the fat locked onto the blade, for he could not pull out the knife from out of his belly. Ehud went forth into the antechamber, and he went forth by the things set in order, locked the doors of the upper room by him, and wedged them. He went forth, and his servants entered. They saw, and behold, the doors of the upper room were wedged. They said, Perhaps he sits with the chair in the voidance of the bedroom. They remained, being ashamed, and behold, there was not one opening the doors of the upper room. They took the key, and they opened. Behold, their master was fallen upon the ground, having died. Ehud came through safe until they made a disruption, and there was not one paying attention to him. He went by the carvings and came through safe into Seirath. And it came to pass, when he came, that he trumped the horn in Mount Ephraim. And the sons of Israel went down with him from the mountain, and he in front of them. He said to them, Come down after me, for the Lord God delivered up our enemies of Moab into our hand. And they went down after him, and first took the ford of the Jordan of Moab, and they did not allow a man to pass over. They struck Moab in that time about 10,000 men, all the warriors, and every man having power, and not a man came through safe. Moab felt shame in that day under the hand of Israel, and the land was tranquil 80 years. After him rose up Shamgar, son of Anath, and he struck the Philistines up to 600 men by the plowshare of the oxen, and he himself delivered Israel. The sons of Israel proceeded to act wicked before the Lord, and Ehud died. And the Lord delivered them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, who reigned in Hazor, and the ruler of his force was Sisera, and he dwelt in Harosheth of the nations. The sons of Israel cried out to the Lord, because 900 chariots of iron were his, and he afflicted Israel by might for 20 years. Deborah, a woman prophetess, wife of Lapidoth, she judged Israel in that time. She sat down under the palm of Deborah, between Ramah and between Bethel and Mount Ephraim. And the sons of Israel ascended to her there to be judged. Deborah sent and called Barak, son of Abinoam, from out of Kadesh, Naphtali. And she said to him, Did not the Lord God of Israel give charge to you? You shall go forth unto Mount Tabor, and you shall take with yourself 10,000 men of the sons of Naphtali, and of the sons of Zebulun. And I shall bring to you at the rushing stream Kishon Sisera, ruler of the force of Jabin, and his chariots, his multitude, and I will deliver him into your hand. Barak said to her, If you should go with me, I will go. If you should not go, I will not go. And Deborah said to him, In going I will go with you, except know that the honor will not be yours in a way which you go, for by the hand of the woman the Lord will deliver up Sisera. And Deborah rose up and went with Barak from out of Kadesh. Barak summoned Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh, and ascended by his feet 10,000 men, and Deborah ascended with them. The near ones of the Kenite were separated from Kenah, from the sons of Hobab, father-in-law of Moses. And he pitched his tent by oak of the ones resting, which is next to Kadesh. It was announced to Sisera that Barak, son of Abinoam, ascended unto Mount Tabor. Sisera called all his chariots, 900 chariots of iron, and all the people with them, from Harosheth of the nations unto the rushing stream Kishon. Deborah said to Barak, Rise up, for this is the day in which the Lord delivers Sisera into your hand. Behold, is not the Lord gone in front of you? And Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men behind him. The Lord startled Sisera and all his chariots, all his camp, by the mouth of the broadsword before Barak. And Sisera came down from on top of his chariot, and he fled by his feet. Barak pursued after the chariots, and after the camp unto Oak of the nations. And all the camp of Sisera fell by the mouth of the broadsword. There was not left behind even one. And Sisera withdrew by his feet to the tent of Jael, wife of Heber the Kenite, for there was peace between Jabin king of Hazor, and between the house of Heber the Kenite. Jael came forth for a meeting with Sisera, and she said to him, Turn aside, O my master, turn aside to me, do not fear. And he turned aside to her into the tent, and she covered him with her hide covering. Sisera said to her, Give a drink, please, to me, a little water, for I am thirsty. And she opened the leather bag of the milk. She gave him to drink, and she covered his person. He said to her, Stand in the door of the tent, and it will be, if a man should come to you, and should ask you, and should say to you, Is a man here? You shall say, There is not. Jael, the wife of Heber, took the peg of the tent, put the hammer in her hand, and she entered to him tranquilly. And she hammered into the peg in his cheeks, and thrust it through into the ground. And he, being startled, was enveloped in darkness and died. Behold, Barak was pursuing Sisera, and Jael came forth for meeting him, and she said to him, Come, and I will show to you the man whom you seek. And he entered with her. Behold, there was Sisera having fallen dead, and the peg in his temple. And God abased in that day Jabin king of Canaan in front of the sons of Israel. And the hand of the sons of Israel went forth going, and hardened against Jabin king of Canaan, until at which time they were utterly destroyed him. Deborah and Barak, son of Abinoam, sang in that day, and said, In the rule of chiefs in Israel, and resolve of people, bless the Lord. Hear, O king, give ear, O satraps. I shall sing to the Lord, and I shall strum to the God of Israel. O Lord, in your exodus from Seir, in your departing from out of the field of Edom, the earth was shaken, indeed the heaven was disturbed, and the clouds dripped water. Mountains shook from the face of the Lord, this Sinai from the face of the Lord God of Israel. In the days of Shamgar, son of Anath, in the days of Jael, the ways failed, and they went by shortcuts. They went by ways being turned aside. The ones dwelling in Israel failed. They failed, unto of which time Deborah rose up, that a mother rose up in Israel. They selected new gods. Then cities of rulers waged war. Spears appeared for protection of young women, even a spear of 40,000 in Israel. My heart is with the things ordered to Israel, the mighty of the people. You bless the Lord. O ones mounting upon beasts of burdens, upon covered royal chariots, sitting down upon a judgment seat, and going by the way, utter a sound of the man playing music in the midst of ones making merry. There they shall give righteousness to the Lord. O righteousness, grow in strength in Israel. Then shall go down into the cities the people of the Lord. Awaken, awaken, O Deborah. Awaken, awaken. Speak with an ode. Rise up, O Barak, and take captive your captivity, O son of Abinoam. Then his strength was magnified, O Lord. Abase to me the one stronger than me. People, Ephraim, punished them in the valley. Your brother Benjamin among your peoples. Ephraim rooted them out among Amalek. After you, Benjamin with your peoples. Of me, Machir, they came down searching out. And from Zebulun, growing in strength, in chiefdom of the narrative of a scribe. The rulers were in Issachar, with Deborah and Issachar. So Barak in the valley sent out his footmen in the divisions of Reuben, in great restrictions of heart. Why with me did you settle between the sheepfolds, to listen to whistlings arousing, to go through for the ones of Reuben, in great trackings out of heart? Gilead encamped on the other side of the Jordan, and Dan, why does he sojourn in boats? Asher sojourns by the shore of seas, and at his breaches he will encamp. Zebulun, a people berating their soul to death. Naphtali was upon the heights of a field. Kings came and deployed, and then the kings of Canaan waged war in Taanach, at the water of Megiddo. A desire for wealth of silver they did not have. From the heaven they deployed. The stars from their orders deployed against Sisera. The rushing stream Kishon cast them out. The rushing stream of antiquity. The rushing stream Kishon, my mighty soul shall trample them. Then they were impeded. The heels of horses were hastened. With diligence by his mighty ones. Curse Meroz, said the angel of the Lord. With a curse everyone dwelling in it. For they camp not to the help of the Lord. The Lord is a helper against warriors. May she be blessed of women. Jael, wife of Heber the Kenite, above the women in the tent, may she be blessed. He asked her for water, and she gave milk to him in a pan. She drew near butter of strong ones. She stretched out her hand for a peg, and her right for the hammer of a laborer. And she struck Sisera with a hammer. She nailed his head, yes, she nailed his temple. And between her feet bowing, he fell. He slept between her feet. He bent, he fell. In which he bent there, he fell miserably. Through the window the mother of Sisera looked and studied. through the latticed window. Why was his chariot late to arrive? Why did the track of his chariots pass time? Her leading wise ladies answered to her, and she returned her words to herself. Shall they not find him dividing the spoils, befriending friends to a mighty head ruler? Spoils of dyed things for Sisera, spoils of dyed embroidery dipped, dyed embroidered, worked spoils for his neck. Thus may all your enemies be destroyed, O Lord, and the ones loving him be as the rising of the sun in his power, and the land is quiet 40 years. The sons of Israel acted wickedly before the Lord, and the Lord delivered them over into the hand of Midian for 7 years. The hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. Because of the presence of Midian, the sons of Israel made for themselves havens in the mountains, and in the caves, and in the fortresses. It came to pass when a man of Israel sowed, that there ascended up Midian and Amalek. Even the sons of the east were ascending against them. They camped by them. They ruined the resources of the land unto the coming unto Gaza, and there was not left behind support for life in Israel, even for the flock and calf and donkey. For they and their livestock ascended. They carried about with their tents, and they came as the locusts by multitude. For them and their camels there was no number, and they came in the land of Israel to ruin it. Israel became poor exceedingly from the presence of Midian, and the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord. It came to pass when the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord on account of Midian, the Lord sent a man, a prophet, to the sons of Israel. He said to them, Thus says the Lord God of Israel, I am the one bringing you up from Egypt. I led you from the house of slavery. I rescued you from the hand of Egypt, from the hand of all the ones afflicting you. I cast them from your face, and I gave to you their land. I said to you, I am the Lord your God. You shall not fear the gods of the Amorites in which you dwell in their land, but you hearkened not to my voice. An angel of the Lord came, sat under the oak, the one being an Ophrah, the one of the father of Joash of Ezra. And Gideon his son beat wheat with a rod in a wine vat to flee from the face of Midian. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, The Lord is with you, mighty in strength. Gideon said to him, Be it to me, O my Lord, if the Lord is with us, then why do all these bad things find us? Where are all his wonders, as many as our fathers described to us, saying, Is it not from out of Egypt the Lord led us? And now he thrust us away and delivered us over into the hand of Midian. The angel of the Lord looked towards him and said to him, Go in this your strength. You shall deliver Israel. Behold, I send you. Gideon said to him, Be it to me, O my Lord. By what means shall I deliver Israel? Behold, my 1,000 is humbler in Manasseh, and I am the lesser in the house of my father. But the Lord said to him that, I will be with you. You shall strike Midian as one man. And Gideon said to him, If I found favor in your eyes, then you shall give to me a sign that you spoke with me. In no way should you separate from here until my coming to you. I shall bring my sacrifice. I shall sacrifice before you. And he said, I am settled until you return. Gideon entered and prepared a kid of the goats and an ephah of unleavened flour. He put the meats upon the bin, and the broth he poured into an earthen pot. He brought it to him under the oak and did obeisance. The angel of the Lord said to him, Take the meats and the unleavened bread, put them on that rock, and pour out the broth. And he did so. The angel of the Lord stretched out the tip of the rod in his hand, touched the meat and the unleavened breads, and fire was lit from out of the rock, and it devoured the meat and the unleavened breads. The angel of the Lord departed from his eyes, and Gideon knew that it is the angel of the Lord. Gideon said, Alas, O my Lord, O Lord, for I beheld the angel of the Lord face to face. And the Lord said to him, Peace to you, do not fear, in no way shall you die. Gideon built there an altar to the Lord, and he called it Peace of the Lord. Until this day it is still being with Ephratah, father of Ezra. And it came to pass in that night that the Lord said to him, Take the well-fed calf of your father, and the second calf of 7 years old. You shall demolish the altar of Baal, which is of your father, and the sacred grove by it you shall cut down. You shall build an altar to the Lord your God, to the one appearing to you upon the top of this mountain of Maaz, in the battle array. You shall take with the second calf. You shall offer whole burnt offerings in the tree of the sacred grove which you cut down. And Gideon took 10 men from his manservants. He did as the Lord spoke to him. And it came to pass that he feared the household of his father, and the men of the city, so as to not act by day. And he acted it by night. The men of the city rose up in the morning. Behold, the altar of Baal was raised. The sacred grove by it was cut down, and the well-fed calf was offered for a whole burnt offering upon the altar having been built. Each man said to his neighbor, Who did this thing? They investigated and inquired. They said, Gideon, son of Joash, did this thing. And the men of the city said to Joash, Lead out your son and let him die, for he raised the altar of Baal, because he cut down the sacred groves by it. Joash said to the men rising against him, Do you now adjudicate for Baal, or shall you deliver him? Whoever pleaded to let him die in the morning, If he is God, he shall avenge for himself, for he raised his altar. He called him in that day Jerubbaal, saying, the court of justice of Baal, for he raised his altar. All Midian and Amalek and the sons of the east came together at the same place, and they passed over and camped in the valley of Jezreel. And the Spirit of God empowered Gideon. He trumped with the horn, and he called for aid to Abiezer after him. He sent messengers to all of Manasseh, and he called also himself others after him. He sent out messengers in Asher and in Zebulun and Naphtali, and they ascended for meeting him. Gideon said to God, if you deliver Israel by my hand as you spoke, behold, I fasten the fleece of wool pieces in the threshing floor. And if dew comes upon the fleece only, and upon all the earth be dryness, then I will know that you shall deliver Israel by my hand in which manner you spoke. And it came to pass thus. Gideon rose early on the next day. He squeezed out the fleece, and dew dripped from the fleece, a full pan of water. Gideon said to God, let not your rage be provoked to anger against me, for I will speak still once more, and I will test still once more by my fleece. Let there become yet dryness upon the fleece only, and upon all the ground. Let there become dew. And God did so in that night. There was dryness upon the fleece only, and upon all the ground became dew.
Jerubbaal rose early, he is Gideon, and all the people with him. They camped upon the spring of Harod, and the camp of Midian was to him from the north of the hill Morah in the valley. The Lord said to Gideon, the people with you are many so as for me to not deliver Midian into their hand. Listen, anytime Israel should boast instead of me, saying, my hand delivered me. And the Lord said to him, speak indeed into the ears of the people, saying, anyone fearing and timid, return. And they sailed out from Mount Gilead. And returned of the people 22,000, and 10,000 were left behind. And the Lord said to Gideon, still the people are many. Lead them down to the water, and I will try them for you here there. And it will be whomever I should tell to, this one shall go with you. He shall go with you. And all whomever I should say that he shall not go with you, then he shall not go with you. The people went down to the water. And the Lord said to Gideon, all whoever laps with his tongue of the water, as if the dog should lap, you shall send him alone. And all whoever stands upon his knees to drink, you shall remove him by yourself. And was the number of the ones lapping with their tongues 300 men, and all the remaining people bent upon their knees to drink water. And the Lord said to Gideon, by the 300 men lapping I shall deliver you. And I will put Midian into your hand. And all the people ran, each man to his place. And they took the provisions of the people in their hands, and their horns, and every man of Israel he sent out to his tent. And the 300 men he kept. And the camp of Midian was underneath him in the valley. It came to pass in that night that the Lord said to him, rise up, go down into the camp, for I delivered it into your hand. If you should fear to go down by yourself, then you and Phurah, your servants, should go down into the camp. You should hearken to what they speak, and after these things your hand shall grow in strength. You shall go down in the camp. And he went down, and Phurah his servant, into a portion of the 50 companies of the ones in the camp. Midian and Amalek and all the sons of the east were encamped in the valley as locusts in multitude. There was no number to their camels, but they were as if the sand upon the edge of the sea in multitude. Gideon came. Behold, a man was describing to his neighbor a dream. And he said, behold, I dreamed a dream. Behold, a loaf of bread of barley was rolling in the camp of Midian. And it came unto the tent of Midian, and it struck it, and it overturned it, and the tent fell. His neighbor answered and said, this is not other than the broadsword of Gideon, son of Joash, a man of Israel. God delivered up Midian into his hand and all the camp. And it came to pass, as Gideon heard the description of the dream and its interpretation, that he did obeisance to the Lord, and he returned into the camp of Israel. He said, rise up, for the Lord delivered up into your hands the camp of Midian. He divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put horns into the hand of all, empty water pitchers and lamps in the middle of the water pitchers. And he said to them, of me you shall see, and thus you shall do. Behold, I will enter into the midst of the camp, and it will be as whenever I shall act, so shall you act. When I shall trump with the horn, I and all with me, then you shall trump with the horns around about the entire camp. You shall say, for the Lord and for Gideon. And Gideon entered, and the 100 men, the ones with him, into the rank of the camp, commanded of the guard of the middle watch. Furthermore rising, they roused the ones guarding, and they trumped the horns, and shook off the water pitchers, the ones in their hand. Then the 3 companies trumped with the horns. They broke the water pitchers, and took the lamps in their left hand, and in their right hand was the horns to trump. They shouted aloud, a broadsword for the Lord and for Gideon. They stood, each man by himself, round about the camp. They ran around all the camp, and they signified by an alarm, and they fled. They trumped the 300 horns, and the Lord placed every man's sword against his neighbor, even in the whole camp. And the camp fled unto Beth-shittah, Zarethrath, unto the edge of Abel-Meholah, by Tabbath. And the man of Israel called for aid of Naphtali, and of Asher, and of all Manasseh, and they pursued after Midian.
Gideon sent out messengers to every mountain of Ephraim, saying, Go down to meet Midian, and overtake for yourselves the waters unto Beth-barah and the Jordan. And every man of Ephraim yelled out, and were first to take the water unto Beth-barah and the Jordan. They seized the two rulers of Midian, Oreb and Zeeb, and they killed Oreb and Sur, and Zeeb they killed in Jake-Zeeb. And they pursued Midian, and the head of Oreb and of Zeeb they brought to Gideon from the other side of the Jordan.
The man of Ephraim said to him, What is this thing you do to us, to not call us when you went to deploy against Midian? And quarreled with him forcefully. He said to them, What did I do now as concerning you? Is not the gleaning of Ephraim better than the gathering the crops of Abiezr? In your hand the Lord delivered up the rulers of Midian, Oreb and Zeeb, and what was I able to do as you? Then their spirit was spared towards them in this speaking with them this word. And Gideon came upon the Jordan, and he passed over, and the 300 men, the ones with him, faint-hearted and hungering. He said to the men of Succoth, Give indeed bread loaves for the nourishment to this people with me, for they hunger. For I pursue after Zebah and Zalmunna, kings of Midian. And the rulers of Succoth said, The hand of Zebah and Zalmunna is not now in your hand, that we should give bread to your military. Gideon said, Thus in the giving by the Lord, Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, I will rend in shreds your flesh with the thorn bushes of the wilderness, and with the Birkenim. And he ascended from there to Penuel, and spoke to them according to these things. The men of Penuel answered to him in which manner the men of Succoth answered to him. And Gideon said to the men of Penuel, saying, In my returning with peace I will raise this tower. And Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor, and their camp with them about 15,000 men, all the ones being left in all the camp of the sons of the east. The ones falling were 120,000 men unsheathing the broadsword. And Gideon ascended the way of the ones dwelling in tents from the east of Nobah and Jogabahah, and he struck the camp, and the camp was secure. Zebah fled, and Zalmunna, and he pursued after them. He took hold of the two kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and all their camps were startled. Gideon, the son of Joash, returned from the battle from the ascent of Ares, and he seized a servant from the men of Succoth. He questioned him, and he registered for him the rulers of Succoth and their elders, 77 men. He came to the rulers of Succoth, and he said to them, Behold, Zebah and Zalmunna, by whom you berated me, saying, Not is the hand of Zebah and Zalmunna now in your hand, that we will give bread loaves to your men fainting. He took the rulers and the elders of the city into the thorn bushes of the wilderness, and the Birkenim, and he rent with them the men of Succoth. The tower of Penuel he raised, and he killed the men of the city. He said to Zebah and Zalmunna, What manner are the men whom you killed in Tabor? And they said, As you, so they are likened to you, likened to them as the appearance of sons of kings. And Gideon said, They are sons of my brothers of my mother, as the Lord lives. If you brought them forth alive, I would not have killed you. And he said to Jether, his firstborn, In rising up you kill them. And the boy did not unsheath his sword, for he feared foe, he was younger. And Zebah and Zalmunna said, You rise up indeed yourself and meet us, for as a man is, so also his power. And Gideon rose up and did away with Zebah and Zalmunna. And he took the crescents on the necks of their camels. And a man of Israel, said to Gideon, Rule among us, you and your son, and the son of your son, for you have delivered us from the hand of Midian. And Gideon said to them, I will not rule you, and my son will not rule among you. The Lord shall rule you. And Gideon said to them, I will ask from you a request, and you give to me, every man an earring of his spoils. For earrings of gold was to them, because they were Ishmaelites. And they said, In giving we will give. And he unfolded his garment, and each man tossed there an earring of his spoils. And was the weight of the earrings of gold which he asked for 1,700 shekels of gold, besides the ornaments of the crescents, and the wrap around garments of the ones of purple of the ones upon the kings of Midian, even beside the collars of the ones on the necks of their camels. And Gideon made to himself for an ephod, and set it in his city in Ophrah. And all Israel fornicated after it there, and it became an obstacle to Gideon and his house. Midian was in remorse before the sons of Israel, and they did not proceed yet to lift their heads. And the land was tranquil 40 years in the days of Gideon. And Jerubbaal, son of Joash, went and dwelt in his house. Gideon there was 70 sons going forth from out of his thighs, for there were many wives to him. His concubine in Shechem, she bore to him also indeed a son, and put upon him his name Abimelech. And Gideon the son of Joash died with good grayness of hair, and he was entombed in the burying place of Joash his father, in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And it came to pass, as Gideon died, that the sons of Israel returned and fornicated after Balaam, and established to themselves Baal-Berith for a covenant for him to be to them for God. And the sons of Israel did not remember the Lord their God, the one rescuing them from out of the hand of all their enemies round about.
And they did not do mercy with the house of Jerubbaal Gideon, according to all the goodness which he did with Israel.
An astute son is subject to his father, but an unhearing son goes unto destruction. From fruits of righteousness the good shall eat, but the lives of lawbreakers will be destroyed unseasonably. The one who guards his own mouth gives heed to his own soul, but the one with precipitous lips should terrify himself. Every idle man is with desire, but the hands of the vigorous are caring. The just detest an unjust word, but the impious man is unashamed, and shall not have an open manner. Righteousness guards the guileless in the way, but the vile, impious ones produce sin. There are the ones enriching themselves, having nothing, and there are the ones abasing themselves with many riches. A man's own riches is the ransom of his life, but the poor does not stand at intimidation. Light to the just is always light, for the impious is extinguished. An evil man practices evil with insult, but the wise are arbitrating themselves. Substance being hastily obtained with lawlessness becomes less, but the gathering for himself with piety should be multiplied. The just pities and lends. Better is the one commencing help in heart than the one promising and leading another to hope. For a good desire is the tree of life. The one who disdains a matter shall be disdained by it, but the one fearing a commandment, this one is in health. To a deceitful son nothing will be good, but a wise servant will be prosperous in actions, and his way shall prosper. The law for the wise is a spring of life, but the mindless man shall die by a snare. Good understanding gives favor, but to know the law is of good consideration. The ways of the disdaining end in destruction. Every astute man acts with knowledge, but the fool spreads forth evil for himself. A rash king falls into evils, but a wise messenger shall rescue him. Poverty and dishonor are removed by instruction, and the one guarding reproofs shall be extolled. The desires of the impious delight the soul, but the works of the impious are far from knowledge. The ones going with wise men will be wise, but the ones going with fools shall be known. Evils shall pursue one sinning, a good thing shall overtake the just. A good man shall inherit sons of sons, and the riches of the impious are treasured up for the just. The just shall spend many years in wealth, but the unjust shall perish suddenly. The one who spares the staff detests his son, but the one loving carefully corrects. The just in eating fills up his soul, but souls of the impious go lacking.
Psalm 105, 1-4. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. Call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people. Sing unto him. Sing psalms unto him. Talk ye of all his wondrous works. Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face forevermore. All of us remember playing hide and seek when we were children. Those of us who are parents and grandparents have a different experience playing that game. When we hide from the little ones, it is usually in some place fairly obvious, so we can see the joy and experience at finding us. God treats us in the same way. He does not go off to a distant place where he cannot be found. Instead, he seeks for us, staying close, so that we can find him. In his sermon on Mars Hill in Athens, Paul said that they should seek the Lord, if happily they might feel after him and find him, though he may not be far from every one of us. The issue in finding God is not that he is hard to find, but that our hearts are prone to wander and seek other things instead of him. The first of the 10 Commandments, and the one that Jesus identified as the most important one, is that we are to put nothing ahead of him, but instead to love him supremely. If our hearts are in the right place, our response will follow. David wrote, When thou sayest, Seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, Thy face, Lord, will I seek. In the business of life, we sometimes lose sight of our utter dependence on God and our urgent need for him. We can try to fill the empty places with substitutes, but nothing can take his place. Striving to be close to him, confessing and forsaking sin, Walking in obedience and loving others should be our priority, not just once in a while or when we are in trouble, but every day of our lives. We do not get close to God by accident, but by intentionally seeking His face.
I want you to experience the riches of your salvation, for the joy of being loved constantly and perfectly. You make a practice of judging yourself based on how you look or behave or feel. If you like what you see in the mirror, you feel a bit more worthy of my love. And when things are going smoothly and your performance seems adequate, you find it easier to believe you are my beloved child. And when you feel discouraged, you tend to look inwards so you can correct what is wrong. Instead of trying to fix yourself, fix your gaze on me, the lover of your soul, and rather than using your energy to judge yourself, redirect it to praising me. Remember that I see you clothed in my righteousness, radiant in my perfect love. Ephesians 2:7-8. In order that in the coming ages he might show the incomparable riches of his grace, expressed in his kindness to us in Christ Jesus. It is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not for yourselves, it is the gift of God. Hebrews 3:1. Therefore, holy brethren, who share in the heavenly calling, fix your thoughts on Jesus, the apostle and high priest whom we confess. Psalm 34:5. Those who look to him are radiant, for their faces are never covered with